Good evening and a very cold, rainy welcome for this edition of the Dugout.
Now, I know all of you all join us from a lot of parts of the world, really, but where we are at, it's been weirdly raining. You never expect Delhi NCR to be raining in mid-March.
And that too, cold winds, which you expect around
It's been to the point where we've actually asked for air conditioners to be switched off.
Yeah.
That's how cold it really is over here. So
Yep, so strange are the times, the last few days of winter, just like the last few internationals for India before they jump into the
IPL,
Carnival Mayhem, or that is called the IPL. We saw in the first ODI that we had against Australia, KL Rahul scripting the ultimate redemption story. Ravindra Jadeja showing that he is the X factor. But two issues. And two issues that have lingered on for a very long time, ever since 2019. Top order failures, number one. And second, and the most important one of them all, the number 4 position.
I mean, you thought this was a conundrum that was sorted, and truth be told, with this man in the playing 11, at least in ODIs, you were sorted as far as the number 4 was concerned. In T20Is, you had a Sky. You're thinking, okay, fine. Number 4 no longer an issue, but unfortunately Shreyas' back injury, which could potentially lead him to go under the knife. We don't know yet whether or not that happens. Even if it doesn't happen, you're looking at a bit of a long-term injury layoff, and therefore leads you to the very obvious question: if indeed he is going to be under the on recovery mode for a while, what do India do in that point in time?
So that is the core dugout topic that we have today. Shreyas Iyer is injured. So potentially if he goes under the knife, out for close to 3 to 4 months.
Correct.
That means after the IPL, see, he's going to miss the entire IPL, but even after the IPL, if you rush him back, you risk
it a
an
wise
injury.
decision? No. Recent history has taught us that's not a very wise thing to do.
After the IPL, you have only 4 months, June, July, August, September. 4 months of preparation for the ODI World Cup in October.
Correct.
Who is going to be India's long-term number 4 if Shreyas Iyer does not make it? We have the candidates, and why do we have the candidates also in this? Because what we assumed to be Shreyas Iyer's backup,
Surya Kumar Yadav.
unfortunately and very, very surprisingly, he has not been able to crack the ODI code yet. 20 plus games in ODIs. Yet Surya Kumar Yadav has not managed to crack the code, which is, considering that in T20I, the shorter form, he is an absolute 360 genius.
Yeah, he's not been able to quite replicate that same form. And I know what a lot of people say. They say, you know what, it's, formats are different. But we've seen enough players be able to make that adjustment seamlessly. Someone like a David Warner in his prime was no different a T20 player than he was a one-day player. Someone like a Joss Butler, someone like a Johnny Bairstow, a lot of the England players, they kind of flit between formats seamlessly. A lot of the more attacking players, even in Australia, in South Africa, they tend to kind of flit through those modes seamlessly. Surya, unfortunately, and we'll go over his numbers because truth be told, he's probably your number 1 candidate, at least for the short term.
Exactly.
For the short term. So, but these are pretty underwhelming numbers, to put it politely. 21 ODIs to have only scored 433 runs, averaging 27.
But okay, what you may argue in the place for Sky is, look at the strike rate.
Yeah, that's the one thing he has going for him.
That is the only thing going for him. But then you saw even in the game against Australia at the Wankhede, remember this is the Wankhede, a turf, a venue where Surya Kumar Yadav honed
so much cricket.
But he got out LBW first ball to Mitchell Starc, and that was a classic in-swinger pacey delivery. That's a problem. That is a real problem, because we all thought that, okay, simple, Shreyas Iyer injured, no problem, Surya can fit the bill. But now, you've seen it from the West Indies, you've seen it even in the Asia Cup, you saw some in the big teams he doesn't perform. ODI, somehow he's not able to crack the code. Even at home, You saw the series against Sri Lanka. You saw the series against New Zealand.
He
Surya-
just looked a little out of sorts in this format. The kind of mastery that he has in the shortest format, he's not been able to apply to 50 overs just yet. And obviously, I think they're going to give him some time because again, you know what he's capable of. He's not just an IPL level performer. He's been arguably your best T20I batsman for the last 2 years.
Exactly.
So you want to stick with him, you want to give him that rope, but it's telling that despite being your main first choice player in T20s, he's not a first choice player in ODIs.
ODIs.
Shreyas Iyer was well ahead of him in that pecking order. In fact, if Shreyas Iyer was fit, we'd not even be having this conversation.
But it seems like we are caught in a real time warp, isn't it? 2019, okay? We had somebody assured in Ambati Rayudu. He was going to change the world. Yes, he was going to be a bona fide number 4.
Right.
One bad series before the World Cup in 2019 against Australia.
Brought in an all-rounder who had never really batted in number 4.
Exactly. In a space of 2 to 3 months, instead of Ambati Rayudu, you got in Vijay Shankar.
Then in the World Cup, you had how many number 4s? You had Pant play over there. You had who else played over there? Vijay Shankar played one game. DK played one game. It was musical chairs. It was a musical chairs.
Yeah, it was madness. So that's why 4 years later, now with Shreyas Iyer's injury, now the entire Pandora's box has opened.
And what is it with ODI years in this happening? I mean, 2019, again in the build-up to the 2019 ODI World Cup, you're dealing with this. 2023, this time a home World Cup. You're again dealing with the same problem.
And remember, your top order is also not setting the stage on fire.
Absolutely.
You may have won the first ODI against Australia. Yes. Credit to Ravindra Jadeja and KL Rahul.
Again, it's the lower order. The same thing we talk about in test matches that, your lower order bails you out. Here it was your number 5 and number 6 who got you over the line.
Exactly. And that is your major bone of contention as to what's going to happen.
5 and 7 because 6 was Hardik.
But at least Hardik's stable, but he didn't take you over the line. It took number 7. That's where you will argue, okay, you need 8 batters. And that's where you will probably say that, okay, maybe your batting cannot end at 7. But I still feel your batting can afford to end at 7 if you're chasing a total, say, what we had against Australia at the Wankhede.
If you're chasing anything below 350, you can have 7 batsmen.
Exactly.
In home conditions.
You need not necessarily follow England's template or Australia's template because Australia were batting till number 8.
But they collapsed horribly.
They collapsed. So, in that sense, play the composition, play the team according to the strengths that's there. But otherwise, if you just copy them blindly in your home conditions, you're compromising your core strength.
Correct.
But at this point in time, your core problem is a number 4. And because the number 4 is like an absolute fulcrum, the top order, if that fails, he is a buffer. He can stabilize the lower order also.
And if the top order does well, then you're coming in and you need someone who can get you quick runs.
And also play the anchor role.
Exactly. I remember in 2019, a lot of people will say, you have Rohit Sharma, you have Shikhar Dhawan, you have Virat Kohli. Who cares who you have at number 4? That would be your undoing. Why? Because the one match where your top order didn't perform, you collapsed horribly. Your World Cup finished.
Your World Cup finished. In the space of 2 days of 1,000 cuts, your World Cup finished.
And the main reason for that was you didn't have a stable number 4. Someone who would be there and do the job for you on the day when your wanted, fabled, very good top order failed.
Exactly.
And it's always going to happen. You can't expect the same batsman all the time. You need to have a full strength team to win a team game. That's why we're having this debate in the first place, because it's so imperative.
Why are we discussing the number 4? Because look at the number of games that Surya Kumar Yadav has played.
21 ODIs now.
Now, what is a long rope? What is a short rope? That definition has been thrown out of the window when it comes to Indian cricket. There is no long rope or no short rope. It is primarily on reputation. You're praying...
Reputation and I think what they see as potential.
Potential. That's the word that Rohit Sharma used.
That's the buzzword.
That's the buzzword. So, if Surya Kumar Yadav, God forbid, fails in the next 2 games...
Then suddenly there's going to be major questions.
Then, because you're going to have 3 ODIs against the West Indies in June. That's necessarily not going to be a full-strength Indian team.
In which, by the way, Sky would most likely be featuring because again,
he'll have to feature.
Far from a certainty when it comes to the ODI format.
And second, You are building up, just it's like the 12th board exams, right? There is a prelims, and then after that is the board exams.
The pre-boards and the boards.
The pre-boards will be your Asia Cup. And after that, it's going to be the World Cup. So, a total of 15 to 16 ODIs you're going to play after the IPL.
Correct.
Now, will you persist with Surya Kumar Yadav if suppose, even if he has a very middling, suppose he scores 240s in the remaining two, or he fails again, scores 100 in the third ODI. Do you persist with Surya Kumar Yadav? Is he your number 4? Because there are other contenders also who are waiting in the wings, and we are going to come to those contenders now.
Exactly, and one of them is someone who is popular with a lot of our fans.
Lot of our fans,
family members.
But if you look at now in hindsight, has been dealt a very unfair, harsh card, and that is Sanju Vishwanath Samson. Forever each and everybody's favorite, but down in the pecking order because of certain individuals. Like for example, Ishan Kishan, he's in the squad. Rishabh Pant was there earlier, but Pant is out, but Ishan is not succeeding. So the stars seem to be aligning for Sanju Vishwanath Samson.
I think for me, if I'm Sanju right now, seeing the delicate nature of the way the team is, if I were with Sanju Samson's position, I'd go out there and have a banger of an IPL. Get 500 odd runs, make it impossible for me to be ignored. One of the major criticisms, and much as we like it or not, is that Sanju in the IPL tends to kind of flatter to deceive.
Yep.
He'll have 2 or 3 good knocks where he's like, oh my god, Sanju Samson.
That too at the start. Then he'll taper off.
Then he'll plateau, then he'll decline, and then he's like, oh, 300 something runs. Meanwhile, you have a KL Rahul who for 4-5 years now has been getting 500 plus runs.
Yes.
That much as you may like it or may not like it, you may think it's fair or unfair, but it matters. If I'm Sanju, I say, you know what, I'm going to have a banger of an IPL. I'm going to go out there, get 500 odd runs. Last year, RR couldn't win the trophy. We reached the final. This year, I'm going to make them win. I'm going to be that person.
Exactly.
If I'm Sanju, because again, you look at those numbers, and mind you, it might seem like a small sample space, but a majority of those ODIs came last year.
Yeah.
Where he was, by the way, averaging at number 5 around 70.
70, yes.
66 might be his career average right now, but last year playing at number 5, he was averaging 70 something.
70 plus.
And that's strike rate. You were talking about sky strike rate. 105. He was, remember, this is the same Sanju who came out and admitted that the BCCI were grooming him to be a finisher. Now, even if you don't want to play him at number 5, because you're saying, okay, KL there seems settled, you can play him at number 4. He's that kind of batsman who can bat pretty much anywhere in your top 5. If you ask me, he's that sort of batsman.
Yes.
Can open. He used to mostly open. 3, 4, 5. He's fine.
He's been shuffled up and down the batting order a lot. See, what works in Sanju's favor now, okay? He doesn't have that, you may say, the bogey that, oh, I'm fighting for my position. Because see, Rishabh Pant is all but out. Let's consider him to be out for...
So he's not in contention for this year's World Cup.
The thing that is going in Sanju's favor is Ishan Kishan is also not firing.
Exactly.
That's 2. Number 3, Iyer's injury could put him out long term. At least for 3 to 4 months.
Exactly.
Then the unfortunate thing is Shreyas' backup in Surya is also not firing.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. This, if I'm looking at it for Sanju Samson, is a golden opportunity. Make it count in the IPL, because too often, as we say, he'll have those 2 or 3 innings where he looks like a world beater. Then it's like,
yep.
But that's not enough. You need to be doing it consistently at that level. Do it. We know he has the talent.
See, he almost got India over the line in an impossible situation against South Africa in Lucknow.
Yes.
He hit Shamsi for 6s or got a boundary, but unfortunately they lost by 9 runs. But Sanju was preparing to hone himself as a finisher also. He's ready to be adaptable. He's ready to be in any position.
It should be a credit to a player who's mostly a top order bat, saying, you know what, yeah, fine. The team needs me to bat 5. I'll train myself to bat like that.
Yep. So, 9 years he's been unfortunately overshadowed by Dhoni, then by Pant, and unfortunately that injury that he suffered.
It came at the worst time, because again, at that
it allowed Ishan to leapfrog.
Exactly, because at that point Ishan had already scored that double 100. So people were all like, oh, he needs to be playing, he this, that. And then he picked up that injury, and I remember they were talking about Jitin, or what was his name? Jitesh, right. Jitesh briefly only as a backup for him, he didn't play a game. But that injury came at the worst time.
It came at a very bad time. And see, now Sanju is not in a position where he's going to be like, okay, oh, I'm on borrowed time. Because see, what will happen in the case of Ishan, he had that thing, oh, I may have to make way for either Shubman or Rohit.
Which is what happened.
Shubman capitalized on it.
Big time.
Big time. 55 days, he had 5 centuries across formats.
Exactly.
2 in tests, 3 in ODIs and 1 in T20Is.
That is how you capitalize.
Yes.
You can question, okay, maybe sometimes Shubman looked a little scratchy in T20s, but he can point out and say, I've got you a ton in T20s. How many Indians have done that?
Very few, yes.
Exactly. So that matters. And these numbers recently, to be fair to him, in last year, the 2022, when he was playing ODIs, he looked very good.
Yep.
So I expected a longer rope for him. Disappointed he didn't get it, but again, I think he should be your main contender if you're looking outside of your pool right now. Because
exactly.
we're sticking to the pool. This is your man.
Yep.
If you want to look outside, your first choice needs to be Sanju Samson.
Sanju Samson, and he will only get the chance provided he does very well in the IPL. And if picked in the West Indies series, he has a great West Indies series.
Exactly. Then you're forcing the selectors to take those tough calls. I don't think anyone wanted to or saw Ishan Kishan as being a long term in the starting 11. Why did he force them to keep him around a little longer? He scored a double ton. You need to do that.
Yes.
As a player, you need to capitalize. But Sanju might be the first choice. But with India, you're always looking at, you're spoiled for talent, and that is very much the case. Even if you look at, because we were able to very easily pick out 2 other options they can potentially move on with, and the first of them being a man who's played T20I cricket recently,
Rahul Tripathi.
Naam to suna hi hoga.
Yes, and remember, average and strike rate is very, very decent for Rahul Tripathi.
Exactly.
But Sanju, if he's had to wait for a very long time, even Rahul Tripathi has had to wait for a very, very long time.
In fact,
he's been a globetrotter.
Tripathi has been far more of a veteran than what he's older than Sanju.
Exactly. Tripathi has been a globetrotter, but he's hardly played.
And he's also been very underrated in whatever team he's played for.
Yep.
If you're thinking about in his IPL tenure, what was the team he made such a mark for? First off,
Rising Pune Super
Giants. He made a good mark there, but after that at KKR, I still maintain this man was fit in 2021's final. KKR would have won the title.
Yes.
Because he was unfit coming into bat later down. He was so key at that 3-4 role.
Yep.
There too, underrated. Sunrisers 1 year, you weren't really seeing Rahul Tripathi as being the breakout star. Again, overshadowed by someone like an Umran. If you're looking at the breakout, but did a job for them.
Exactly.
It was so key for them at number 4. Very, very good job, to the point that even Sunrisers, who are known as probably, along with maybe Punjab Kings, as one of the most chop and change teams ever, stuck with him.
Exactly.
They know how good this man is.
But again, the problem with the other 2 contenders that we're going to show right now
is that there's no experience whatsoever in international format.
One, and second, the depth of talent that is already there. We are looking at a backup to a backup to a backup.
Exactly.
They are way down when it comes to the reservation charts.
Yeah, but we're looking at them because, well, it's fun to do that. And if you're looking at talent, someone like Tripathi, what I think works for him, and then this is in very limited capacity that we got to see him. He's played 5 T20Is, but I remember there were knocks where he was coming in tough situations, and rather than looking to be that player, would be like, yeah, you know what, I'll get a gritty 40-50. He was looking to play it with a good intensity, not letting the strike rate drop. He was looking to play his shots even in difficult times, and he gave away his wicket like that a few times, but every time he was striking it very well in terms of he wasn't wasting deliveries, and that's always very good when it comes to a batsman not being selfish, putting the team in front of him, saying, look, I'll accelerate the scoring of the team, even if that means I'm not getting my individual score. It's a very good trait to have.
Yeah, but unfortunately, one thing also, technically, if I look at it, Rahul Tripathi, that swinging delivery.
I mean, if you're going by that, then someone like Sky also shouldn't be there.
But Sky, in the quest for aggression, he doesn't have a technical but Rahul Tripathi kind of that outswinger.
He gets a little fidgety.
You remember that game? I think it was Lucknow, if I'm not mistaken, or the Ranchi game. Ranchi.
He did look a little fidgety.
He did. Then, if you want to look at Rahul Tripathi, okay, fine. Then there is the last contender that we have.
And why we are picking him is because he was actually named in the squad.
Yes.
He didn't get a game, but the fact that he's named in the squad means the BCCI keeping tabs on how he's done. And for him, never mind his list A, that strike rate in T20 cricket, striking it at nearly 150, probably the most underrated player for RCB.
And remember, 2022, it was his knocks that ensured towards the fag end that no opponent could take RCB lightly.
Imagine, it was his 100 in the eliminator that actually got them to qualifier too.
Yes, they
Granted,
knocked Lucknow Super Giants lost because of Rajat Patidar's 100.
Exactly.
And remember, Patidar's clean hitting is an X factor also. You would need, and Patidar is a typical, you may say, old school plus new modern school guy. What happens is, can adapt to the situation, can nudge the ball into the gaps and do it.
When he gets going.
Power hitting, he can deliver that. And plus, one more vote, he's from my home state also.
Which
MP, he's from Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
So that is why
Had to ask.
Anurag also will agree with that. So that is why, that is the way I give my one vote to. But unfortunately, the problem with Patidar, Rahul Tripathi is that
there's very little in terms of experience. Tripathi, if he's played 5 T20s, Rajat hasn't even done that. He's nowhere close to a T20I or an India cap yet.
Yep.
Of course, he's been named in squads, but considering India's batting depth, but again, as we said, we're here to discuss options, and these were the best 4 I think we could come up with.
So that is the thing. These two are highly unlikely because why? This particular individual who we all have been kind of for the last 1 month, not previously, because we felt that okay, Pant there, I don't think Sanju merits a place. But with Pant gone and Ishan Kishan also not firing, now the door has opened for Sanju Samson. It's up to the BCCI to give him that admit card. You're in, do well in this exam, and hopefully he makes it to that 12th board exam, which is the ODI World Cup. So all good teams, all great teams begin their preparation from June. Okay, after the World Test Championship, your focus is
IPL and WTC.
Only IPL will be there for 2 months. Then the World Test Championship for 5 days. After that, it's only going to be ODI World Cup, ODI World Cup, ODI World Cup. 4 months. That's about it. Toppers who make 90-95%, they start preparing 4 months before. The Indian cricket team now has that option now. But for that, they are number 4 and their top order must come together, because if they don't come together, you're going to have that same situation that you had in the 2019 World Cup, where you are scrambling for a number 4. If tough decisions have to be taken after the World Test Championship final and before the West Indies tour, it has to be taken, because you cannot dump Sanju Samson in October. Oh, he's our number 4. Last minute. It cannot be last minute. You have to take a decision on Surya by June. If Shreyas Iyer comes back, will he be the same Shreyas Iyer? We hope he is.
How long will it take for him to get back into match rhythm?
That is a big issue. That is a massive issue.
So these are of course our options. Let's actually check out a few comments now, see what people actually think. Can we go from
So Soumya Dasgupta, the first comment, he's like saying, bat Surya Kumar at 6 and 7. Bat Hardik, Rahul, Jadeja ahead of him. Let Sky bat at the end and let him play in this T20 game. If you want to back up, Samson is the only option who averages 66 in ODIs.
That's what we were saying. I think
but he makes a rather interesting point of batting Sky at 6 or 7.
Would it not be too low?
No, but I think if you have to, for his style of play, I think that is a kind of out of the box comment.
It's an out of the box comment which could actually work.
It can work. You see, Rahul, Hardik are all anchors who can turn on, supposing, but towards the end, you need someone with a 360-degree thing, and that is Surya. He can go mental towards the end. And remember, 2020 cricket, normally at about 10 overs remaining, Sky turns a game on.
Exactly. Could very well
Maybe.
be the case.
Maybe Soumya Dasgupta, that's not a bad suggestion. I mean, okay, I think 6 would be an ideal position. Let Hardik bat at 4. Then I would say let Rahul be at 5.
Because he seems pretty settled there.
6 could be Surya, 7 could be Jadeja. That's actually not a bad ploy. I mean, I would kind of look into it quite seriously. Yes, good suggestion, Soumya Dasgupta.
This is go slightly up.
Slightly up, yeah. So, okay, Madan, he's, I think.
Kuldeep Sharma says justice for Manish Pandey. I feel for the guy. Unfortunately, in recent years, his form has kind of.
Sorry, Manish, I think he was the victim of that horses for courses policy in the Kohli Shastri era. Now I don't think it is going to come back.
Kuldeep Kaushik says there's a problem for number 4 during 2019 World Cup. The same problem this time around. My opinion, you should go with Samson instead of Surya. Kuldeep, we actually pointed that out.
We should name our channel Samson today because there is so much support and so much outpouring of.
And I understand why. Very talented player who's not gotten his due.
He's
the opposite of a KL Rahul. If KL Rahul got a magnanimously long rope, poor Sanju was flitted in and flitted out as per convenience.
He had to get KL Rahul and he had to somehow.
Match tracker also says Tripathi. Not a bad shout. Again,
but I think over Sanju, it'll be hard.
Yeah, it'll be very hard unless you've really just given up on Sanju Samson.
Yes.
Unless you've just given up on Sanju
Unless
Samson.
Tripathi has
Again, a banger of an IPL.
Like how he did in 2017. Like how he had in 2016-17, if he has that kind of a season,
then suddenly you're thinking,
it changes the entire dynamic. So SD Roy is saying Samson in place of Sky, Gaikwad in place of Kishan.
Like Gaikwad, maaf karo, you're not.
See, there was one more comment that Gaikwad has been doing well in domestic ODI. I agree. Vijay Hazare, he's been an absolute beast. But yet again, Gaikwad, unfortunately, can only open. He can't be a number 4, number 5. And opening, it is sorted. It will only be Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. I think your opening conundrum is finished. Virat Kohli at number 3, that's settled. Your only problem is number 4. It could be a toss-up between, one second. This individual or this individual.
Yeah, and most likely that's what it's going to be, by the way. We brought in Tripathi and Patadar because, again, these are outside options. If you're looking inward, though, it's Sky and then Sanju in that order.
Yep.
Slightly high. Let's take some more.
Mayank Agrawal, very, very naughty. Very naughty. I mean, unfortunately, his best years are done, but he's been great form for Tamil Nadu. He's been, but I think you have to look past Vijay Shankar now. Yeah, Riyan Parag, oh, come on.
Deepak Huda. Again, not the worst option in the world, but again, someone who in recent times has kind of flattered to deceive even in T20s, which is his preferred format. Again, Deepak Huda, I don't think is out of the reckoning, but again, needs to have a banger of an IPL.
He can be a dark horse.
Yeah. And he needs to have a banger of an IPL.
But again, see, the problem with Deepak Huda is if he doesn't bowl, you're wasting him.
No, but see, if in LSG, assuming you want to play him in that role, LSG was batting at 4. If you want to say, okay, boss, well, letting you bat at 4, and in ODIs, he might actually bowl a few overs here. Right?
See, he did well in the West Indies.
In fact, even in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Remember, there he was bowling a bit also.
This New Zealand, you mean? I think he didn't play.
He played the Zimbabwe ODIs.
Did he play the Zimbabwe?
If I'm not wrong, he did. I call him being there.
Because I remember West Indies clearly. I remember New Zealand in the T20Is.
But T20Is, he was better with the
4
ball
for 10. 4 for 10 he took, I remember. So, then, Sridhar Deshpande, why Indian team management instead of telling the lacunas in Kishan's technique keeps on playing him?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they know the lacks or the shortcomings. I'm pretty sure he would be,
See, I think they're caught up in every day I think the batting coaches, the seniors, they will be having a word with Ishan Kishan. The captain will be having a word. Rahul Dravid will be having a word. Virat Kohli will having a word. It's just about being there mentally and the right kind of judgment. Because he had a very bad shot. He played a very poor shot, misjudgment. Remember, that ball came in. And he played across the line and got trapped plumb in front. So that is why, that's the problem. So yes, it depends on the long rope. Remember, Kishan is, anyway they're on borrowed time. He's not going to be playing in Vizag tomorrow because Rohit Sharma slots back in.
Right.
That's
Arun Teja, is Sanju here in the squad? No, but we're looking at long-term options.
Long-term.
So
maybe after in the West Indies.
Yeah, he could very well be playing that. Just go down all the way. We'll take a couple more and I think we can wind up.
Okay.
Akshar can play as batsman only? No. He's only going to be a Jadeja replacement.
Yes. If Jadeja plays, then Akshar can't play. The composition of the team will be really, really compromised. Fit Monk, I mean, I wish he had always gotten his real name. I lost it somewhere. Down. Right there.
Yeah, slightly up. Fit Monk there.
Yes. Do you think if Dhawan scores hell of a lot of runs in the IPL this season, he can make a comeback for World Cup? We know who he performs in ICC trophies.
See, Fit Monk, it's not like he's not been scoring that many runs. His reason for being eliminated is strike rate. So unless he's scoring like say 500 runs at a strike rate of 140, you're not forcing that conversation.
Exactly. But Dhawan, I mean, I think he's also been dealt a very rough hand. But it also didn't help the fact that he was not picked in tests. He wasn't picked in T20Is. Unfortunately, he's only playing ODIs.
And then
he's not setting the stage on fire there also.
Not just that, not playing domestic cricket thereafter.
Exactly.
Only IPL. So
that's the problem. Arun Teja, how's the weather at Vizag? Heard it might rain tomorrow. It is raining, but I think the weather is clear for the rest of the day.
It's clear for now, I think. Yeah.
It is. So that is why Soumya Das Gupta is saying you have to keep Samson in the mix because you would need two keepers as well. Seeing Ishan's form, you have to have. Yep.
Very true. And also the fact that Ishan can really only open. Yep. That's his other problem.
Or at max number 3. But number 3, we know who has sealed that spot. Until he's there.
Yeah.
Whenever he wants to go on his own terms, he can.
Right.
You cannot bat Ishan at number 3 because there is a certain
Virat
Kohli there who scored over, you may say, 20,000 plus runs in all formats. So
yeah, you're not really
combined. You can't keep him out. So, shall we call it?
Yeah, we can actually.
We can. So, yes, Sanju Samson forever dominates Sports Today family members' hearts.
Today.
It's Sanju today for us. So, yeah. We are building up to the second ODI between India and Australia at Vizag. If India win it 2-0, they win the series. And then the last ODI in Chepauk is an absolute dead rubber, that you may say. But Australia will be determined to fight back and get on level terms because they did put up a good fight in Mumbai. They just couldn't get that penetration going. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us. We'll be back for more sporting updates. The WPL is on. So
it's actually just finished. UP Warriors won.
So that means bad news for all you RCBians. Yeah. So I'll be doing that and explaining what is the situation. So tap that bell icon so when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Thank you. Bye-bye. Vanakkam.